class. This is Mr. Judd. Say hi. And then now ignore him. So eyes up here. All right. Boys and girls, yesterday we worked through a couple of vocabulary words. We went through our reading and we wrote down words that we didn't know. Do you remember that? So today we're going to continue doing that. But at the end of the day, we're going to have a definition for all of those words in your own words, okay? So we're going to do a lot of repeating and a lot of echoing, okay? So we're going to go up here and look at our learning target. I can write, not just use the words and not just talk to our partners. We're going to do that as well. But today the most important part is that you're going to write the vocabulary words and write the vocabulary words in a sentence. And you're going to also talk to your partner. Fair enough? All right. So let's talk about one of our words, and the very first word that we had was climate. Everybody repeat that? Climate. Awesome. And the definition of climate is not big enough for you to see. Excuse me. The definition of climate is the kind of weather a place has over a period of time. Repeat that. The kind of weather. All right, let's do that one more time. Everybody listen to me and then we'll do an echo. Climate is the weather a place has over a period of time. Your turn.
Climate is the weather a place has over a period of time.
You guys are sleepy sounding. Let's do it one more time. Tell it to your neighbors in your group, okay? And keep repeating it until I give you our signal and cue. Climate is the kind of weather a place has over a period of time. Repeat it. Period of years. Ready and ice? Awesome. Okay, the next word that we also talked about was region. That different places on the earth have different climates. So the pole regions, the north and south, are colder or warmer? Colder than the, what's that line right in the middle? Equator. Everybody, what's that line in the middle?
Equator.
Awesome, okay. And so the further you go away from the equator, the colder it is. How come? Is the sun hitting the equator or the poles? Everybody? The sun is hitting the equator, okay. So a climate, we just talked about climate, now we're going to talk about region. What's the word?
Region.
Awesome. And region is any part of the Earth's surface. Repeat that. Any part of the Earth's surface. Go.
Any part of the Earth's surface.
Repeat it to your group until you get it clear. Keep repeating it. All right. And ice. Let's go on to a new word. No, we're not going to go on to a new word. We're going to repeat because I remember we did latitude, right? We did latitude, and what was my other word for it?
Latitude.
The fatitude, right? We go around the fatitude part of the globe. Okay, so the fatitude, the lines of latitude, here's the equator, and the sun hits the equator, and so that makes it warmer at the equator than at the north and south. Okay, so let's do some signals with this one. Okay. So latitude is the lines around the earth. Everybody help me out. Latitude is the lines around the earth. Okay, got it? Latitude is the lines around the earth. The equator is in the middle.
The equator
Equator's in the middle. Okay, latitude are the lines around the earth. I want everybody doing this with me. Latitude are the lines around the earth. The latitudes are the lines around the earth. And the equator is right in the middle. Okay, keep repeating that in your group, please. Latitude are the lines around the earth and the equator is in the middle. Keep going. Okay, and ice. It is warmer at the equator than it is at the north or south pole. Everybody show that signal with me. It's warmer at the equator than it is at the north and south poles. It's warmer at the equator than it is at the north and south poles. Keep going. It's warmer at the equator than it is at the north and south poles. Keep going. Warmer at the equator. Matthew, hook me up here, man. I want to see you Zumba. You want equator is in the middle, and it's warmer at the equator than it is at the north and south poles. Okay? Excuse me. Alrighty. Let's stop here for a moment and let's get some stuff down to writing, some of these definitions down to writing. So you're going to take this paper. Here are your 4 words that we've just been working on: climate, region, latitude, and equator. You are so welcome. I love the math. Okay? So, in your own words, we've repeated the climate and region definition about 5 times. I'll keep it up here. You're going to write down in the box what the definition of climate is. The study of weather over a long period of time. And regions. Okay? Go. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to come up with a definition in your own words. Yes. Oh. That's why he has it. Thank you. Okay. Let's look at climate and region, latitude and equator. Nice job. Climate and region. I'll give you a hint. I've got some of those definitions on the board there. There's also paper your reading has it as well that we've read. Climate is the... Nice, Matt. I think you're starting it. The weather over a long period of time. Good. Climate is. It's a great start. Weather over a long period of time. San Diego. Edwin, are you done? You're done? What about region? Climate and region. You have region too? Oh. Good. Okay, and ice, right here. Fan. Ooh, I like that. Nice job. Question for you. Is the weather the same in all regions of the earth?
No.
Is weather the same in all regions of the earth?
No.
Turn to your desk and tell them why. Why is weather different? Why is it, you said the weather isn't the same. How come it's different from here to here? What has something to do with that great big shiny Say that again in your own words. We're all together. And ice. I gotta tell you, I love how Zoe and Aramis were talking and they were describing it, and then they were pointing up there and they were describing why a different region has different weather. And it goes down to the second part, which is about the latitude and the equator. So let's go back to our signals. Latitude, it goes around the latitude part of the globe, right on, okay. The middle is called the Equator, and the weather is different from the North Pole to the South Pole, okay? Latitude goes around the fat part of the globe. The middle is the equator. The weather is different from North Pole to South Pole. I want you to put that into writing in the second section. Latitude and equator. Latitude part of the globe. In the middle is the equator. The weather is different north and south. He is my boss. He was a principal at Pebble Beach, a different elementary school. You're thinking of Mr. Seitz. Mr. Seitz is much taller than I am. So. Latitude is the graph. Okay? I'm giving you the answer. You just have to put it in your own words. That part of the book. Equators. Weather's different north and south. Used to be your principal? Good. Well, I'm your principal and I'm your teacher. Right. That part of the book? Oh, okay. That part of the book. Latitude lines of that part of the globe. What's in there? The equator, and the weather is different. Poles. Okay? So think of this. All of these things I'm doing. And write it down there. Yep, absolutely. Good. That's region. So let's take this. That's this. That's this. Now, latitude and equator. Latitude are the lines that go around the fat part of the globe. The equator, the weather system, okay? Do those signals if you need to write it down. You have another 70 seconds? Oh. So latitude. Nice. Okay, make sure you put something in there about weather though. Because the important part isn't that the equator's in the middle or that you know the fat part of the globe. The important thing is that the weather is different. Okay. Nice, Zoe. Zoe hurried up, finished writing, she put her pencil down, she's ready for the next bit. And awesome. Okay, take your papers, these papers, the white papers, and in the top left corner, you have a colored dot. Either it's blue, it's red, it's green, or it's black. Okay? I would like the red kids to come right over here into a group. Oh, and there's also blank ones too. Sorry, so blank is going to be a group as well. Okay? So red group right over here, green group back here, blue and black. And blank up here. I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to get to those groups. Where? Blank is up here. Oh, black right here. Black. Red. Green, blue, black, I think. Red, green, blue, black. Up here, if you don't have a color, you can do it. So whatever color is. Red, green, blue, black. And ice. Okay. Red, green, blue, black. Okay? Listen carefully to directions. Try not to hit that. How did you guys all end up in the same group? That's right. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. Okay? You just wrote down your definitions in your own words. Oh, Zoe, I got water on your feet. Sorry. Okay. You wrote down your definitions in your own words. I want you to talk to your group and talk about these definitions some more. Read them if you need to. Talk about them a little bit. There's pictures up on the top, okay? We're going to spend about 2 minutes talking about those 4 words, okay? You have your notes. Ready? Go. Okay. Get in a circle. Okay. Talk to me about climate. Explain to each other. See if you got the same answer, different answers. Okay, nice job. Okay, let's talk, guys. Climate. What is it?
Climate is a kind of weather
Okay, over a long period of time. So tell me why climate and weather are different. You're right, weather doesn't always stay the same. Right, over a long period of time. So you watch the news and you see the weather. And today the weather, is it different than it was on Monday? Yeah, it is. Okay? But over a long period of time, that's okay? You have your definition? So Evan, I want you to say that in your own words. Okay? Weather is what? Yeah, and does it change like often, or is it short or long term? Short term. So then climate is what? Weather over long periods. Talk to me about regions. Okay, I want you to start. Talk to me about regions. Okay, tell me why regions are different. Why is weather different? Okay, and why is weather different in every region?
Because, like, one part is closer to the sun.
You don't get a 5. Okay, so talk about that some more. So let's let Zoe talk to you guys about those 4 words. Right. Exactly. Okay, so we're going to talk about mountain ranges in just a minute.
I don't know. Okay. The earth goes around, it's spinning around fast, and then it's going Teacher, see how tall they are.
Whether long term or short term. Climate, yeah. So talk more about why weather is different.
Louder. It's lower. I can't even hear you.
And how come it's different the farther away you are from the equator? Yeah. Okay, so what makes it more warm? The sun. And does the sun hit the equator or does it hit the south pole? Good. Okay. Where'd we have another student?
Stop right here.
I
Stop right there.
What climate do you latitude and equator are? Okay. And ice. I like how you guys all stop. You turn. Your eyes are on me. That's fantastic. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to get back to your chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we should give it a make sounds. Without hurting each other or yourself. Okay. This one was a new one that we kind of started yesterday at about this time. So let's talk about altitude and elevation. Okay, actually, you know what? Hang on. I want to go back one because a group brought this up and I wanted to just make sure that we talk about it again. Okay.
Going to the bathroom.
Did they just do that?
No, they're not supposed to.
I didn't know. Okay. Eyes right here, equator, okay? And I found a map that has, so here's Denver, and that's kind of where Utah is, because one of you asked how far away is Utah from the equator. So it's right here, and up here is Alaska, and up here is the North Pole, okay? So Utah is probably further away from the equator than it is from the North Pole. We talked about it being about 40 degrees, but I found some other cities here. So Mexico City, is it closer to the equator or further away from the equator? Closer to the equator. So is it going to be warmer in Mexico City than it is in Utah?
Yeah.
And it's because why?
Closer to the equator.
And what makes the equator warmer?
The sun.
The sun. So the sun hits it more directly. So if I remember right, I think it's this. Yep. Yeah.
Why does it not snow in Mexico?
Because, well, let's look at that map. We just saw it. That's a great question. Why doesn't it snow in Mexico very often? How often does it snow at the equator? Not very. Why? Because where is the sun?
The equator.
It's at the equator. Where is the North Pole and the South Pole? Is it further away from the sun?
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be colder, right? So Mexico City is closer to the equator, so you don't get as much snow down. Okay? Okay. I had forgotten I looked those up for you guys. Okay. Let's go to altitude and elevation. I'm going to shut off these lights because this picture is really important. Okay? We talked about altitude being the place, the height above and below sea level. So turn your yellow papers around. That's one of your words. Altitude is the height of a place above sea level. But I want eyes right here. Sorry, I miscued you. I shouldn't have had you write down. Don't write down yet. If I can have your eyes. Sorry. Okay. If you look at this picture, altitude, you've got sea level, so you've got this beautiful ocean down there. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got a little hill here, and then in the background you see a mountain clear up there really high, and it's got snow on it. But yet we have a nice blue ocean down here. Okay. So if the altitude is the height from sea level to the top of a mountain, is there different weather?
Yes.
Tell me why. I see 5 people know. 8 people know. Weather is different. Snowy. Nice blue sea. Tell me why. Go ahead.
Because the higher it is, the colder.
The colder it is, okay? I added some pictures down here at the bottom. This is Mount Everest. This is the highest point on Earth, okay? Do you see a whole lot of trees?
No.
Not a whole lot of trees. Does it look kind of cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally ice, okay? And these guys are wearing masks because they can't breathe. We'll talk about that at a different time. Okay, so cold weather. But then here we have, and this is where I want to be when I turn 40. Remember? Okay? That just makes me warm inside looking at that. Doesn't that make you guys warm? Okay. So you have different elevations from sea level by the ocean to the highest peak, and it looks very different. Snowy and cold, warm and sunny. Weather is different. Okay. So let's go back to our definition for altitude and elevation. The higher the elevation, there's a change in weather. The higher the altitude, the change in weather. Go ahead and write that down so you can use your hands if you want to. The higher the elevation, there's a change in weather. Colder at the top than at the bottom. Further away from sea level, the weather changes to colder. Yeah. From sea level to a mountain, the weather gets colder as you go higher. Nice. Yeah. Gets cooler Is it cooler at the sea level or is it cooler in the mountains? Explain that real quick, just to make sure that you understand it. Is it cooler? Okay, good. Just put a note there. Is it cooler at sea level or cooler in the mountains? There you go. Write that down, okay? Make sure you know that, the difference there. 15 more seconds. Altitude and elevation is high altitudes gone higher in elevation. So I would stand on your chair. I increased my altitude and I increased my elevation. That's how quick we go. And eyes, pencils. Put your pencils down. Put your name on the yellow papers and on the white papers now. Now you're going to own these for tomorrow. Put your name on the white and the yellow. Hand it to one person in your group. On the white too, yes. Okay, and eyes. Sorry. One last thing. At the beginning, we talked about writing the vocabulary words in a sentence. How many vocabulary words did we write down sentences for on the yellow paper? 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. How many did we write?
A paragraph or one sentence?
A sentence. Okay. How many? Matt's got it. We've got 6 words. Show me that you know where the 6 words are that we just wrote down. There's 4 on one side, 2 more on the other. How many words did we define?
6.
Write sentences for? Good deal. Okay. Give that to one person in your group. Miss McDermott, you can dismiss as you see fit.